How's everybody? So we've got a fun review today because we're talking about the upcoming horror film Smile. Out of all the horror films coming out in recent weeks, I feel like I can't escape the promotional material for Smile. Whether I'm at the theater watching a film, or I'm watching a baseball game and I see a creepy girl smiling in the background, the promotional material for this film has been on point. Not only just that, but I thought it did look genuinely creepy, so I was hoping that an entire feature-length film would deliver that same creepy feeling. After witnessing a bizarre incident involving a patient, Rose begins to experience frightening, unexplainable occurrences as she's forced to confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. As a concept, Smile does feel inherently similar to many other films in the genre, which isn't inherently a negative thing to draw inspiration from other films in horror. I think this film does just enough, though, to stand up on its own and not feel overly derivative. It's definitely better than I expected it to be, using this idea for its own merits. What Smile does excel at the most is building extremely uncomfortable atmosphere that lingers practically throughout the entire film. This journey that we go on following this lead character and uncovering what's happening to her, it's filled to the brim with tension and continues to escalate into more messed up things around her that really keep you on the edge of your seat, because as things are occurring as the film progresses, you don't have an idea, much like our lead character, if these traumatic scares are in her head or are they actually happening to her. But whether they are real or not, every time something happens, it is genuinely frightening. Whether it is a jump scare or someone smiling very uncomfortably, there actually is quite a bit of variation to the types of scares in Smile, which I thought was a genuinely nice surprise, because when I went into this, I was worried it was going to kind of fall into Truth or Dare territory, where every single scare was going to be tied to some goofy looking face. And that isn't to say there aren't a whole lot of smiles in the film that are genuinely creepy, but it feels like that is the concept done right, unlike Truth or Dare. There's also quite a lot of gore in this that I did not expect from the promotional campaign. The trailers did a great job hiding a lot of that stuff from you. It reminds me a lot of the promotional material for Barbarian and how it didn't spoil anything for that, so just go in expecting to see some pretty good gore effects, creature effects, and all that stuff. I guess there is a taste of it in the trailers when the one girl's head spins upside down, but there's a lot more to that when it comes to the antagonist of the film. That's actually something that I think is going to be one of the most fun things to talk about when the film does come out. A big thing that helps this film stand out among the pack of all the other films using this concept is our lead character, Rose. She's actually a pretty interesting, well-rounded character, and we dig a lot into her backstory. We go deep here, much more than what you would expect in a film like this, as she's attempting to piece everything together about this horrifying adventure, and we're also able to explore this traumatic past of hers that she's had and all the things that she regrets in it. So she was a very easy character to root for because of how interesting and complex her story is. I mean, Sosie Bacon, if you aren't familiar with the actress's name just off the bat, she is the daughter of Kevin Bacon, which is a very cool thing to see, that she's also following in her father's footsteps and starring in horror films. I've not seen her in too many things, but I would love to see her in more things after this if this is a launching point for more stuff in the bigger spectrum of her career. Even many of the supporting characters in this are fairly interesting. Jesse T. Usher, A-Train is in this and he's solid. Kal Penn, it's great to see Kal Penn pretty much do anything these days. You don't see him in too many projects. And Kyle Gallner. Kyle Gallner has kind of had a little bit of a resurgence recently between this and the handful of scenes that he was in for Scream 5 earlier this year, so it's cool to see him stick around in the horror genre after kind of having a long break between a Nightmare on Elm Street remake and Jennifer's Body. Much like I said previously, Smile does feel very reminiscent of other films that do kind of the same exact thing, whether it be It Follows, The Ring, even Final Destination a little bit. It's one of those concepts that's been beaten to death at this point. The whole idea of being chased by an entity of some kind and has to figure out how to stop it before it kills them. So it doesn't deviate too much from that formula. It still does have some fresh, interesting ideas to say, but not all that many. It is a very predictable story to follow along this journey. While I don't know if it was intentional or not, or I'm just reading a bit too much into the film called Smile, it felt like there was at least some sort of subtext going on with Smiles. It could just be me. I'm not really entirely sure. It's one of those things I'll probably have to look into deep down the line when the directors talk more about the film. It will be interesting to see how people feel about the ending to the film. I feel like it could be another one of those divisive kind of endings. A lot of horror films have been having divisive endings to them. I don't know if anybody else besides me has known that. Barbarian kind of had a divisive ending, and now I think Smile's going to have one as well. I guess it's just the nature of film criticism, TV criticism these days, to have a divided audience. But yeah, all around, Smile was a pretty good horror film. It's definitely derivative of other films you've seen from the horror genre, but it is a fun enough creature kind of feature film to go check out around the Halloween season. It It has some good creature effects, some genuinely unnerving scares to it when it comes to smiles, and an interesting protagonist that I think that a lot of people are going to connect with. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about this film as it debuts this week, so make sure you share your thoughts down below once you get a chance to check out the film Smile. Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? How are you feeling about the ending? Like it? Dislike it? Anyway, share all of those thoughts down below in the comments section. It's part of the fun is having the conversation with you guys in the comments section down below. Thank you guys as always for checking the reviews. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel so it's up to reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Next time, see you guys later.